All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have this Emiru Mizkif situation, which has developed a bit since I made this as well, although it's mostly just other people saying shit, and I don't really think it adds a ton to what I already have here, so there are new clips at the time of me recording this that aren't in here. Maybe I'll go over a couple of those at the end, but for the most part, I think everything here is still pretty solid, still holds up, still stands. Emiru came out with some pretty heavy accusations against Mizkif that made him look pretty terrible, and I'm gonna go through them. This is the rape review, ladies and gentlemen. This is welcome to Rape Review. I'm your host, Mickey Morant. Oh my. There's actually only one claim of sexual assault in this, so we don't have a ton here to go on. In that regard, however, there are a lot of accusations of abuse, so we will be going through those. As you can see here, there are 28 claims she made against Mizkif. I'm going to go through all of those, and I'm going to go through Mizkif's response to all of them. We're going to go claim by claim, so Emiru accusation, Mizkif response, Emiru accusation, Mizkif response, or lack thereof, whatever. Okay? And we're going to evaluate. And then we have some ancillary stuff, some old clips supporting certain things, a couple random things, and a tally of how well Mizkif addressed these claims. I'm going to be honest. It was not everything you would hope, but I went into this trying to give Mizkif a fair shot, and I think I did that with how I collected this and how we're going to go through this and everything. With how I did numbers, I felt like I tried to favor those towards Mizkif, as he is the one who is being accused, and even when doing that, the numbers don't come out super strong in his favor with regards to, you know, his response and whatnot. So first, let's start with this clip, which is Emiru essentially giving the categories of accusations she's going to make in the video or in the stream, whatever. I've cut this up into a ton of different clips, so for ease of viewing. So we can go through these one by one, baby. So this is the first. This is just her explaining what she is going to be talking about, which is a good introduction to this as well.
Today, I'm finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing. For the entirety of this year, I have attempted to separate myself from him and not talk about him at all, and not talk about this issue and just not make it a public thing. I always tried my best to keep this to myself, but like I said, I feel like it's gone to the point, which I'll explain later, that I feel like it just has to be done.
So she gives 6 categories of accusations there. She says psychological abuse, domestic abuse, stalking, harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail. So we're going to start in the order she gave. We're just going to go in the order she said, and I've broken down these clips. Now, some of these clips you could argue could go in other categories. You could argue they could go in multiple categories. The way I categorized them, I don't think really matters that much. It was just kind of a way to format things, so don't get too pressed about that. Emiru's explanation for why she's doing this now.
I have always believed in not condemning people or starting drama online. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be asking, why am I doing this and why now? And I would like to explain that before I get started so that people understand what prompted me to do this today, and that it's not just on a whim or something like that. The first and probably most severe reason is that one of the rules that I set for myself a long time ago about withholding this information was that if I ever felt like somebody else was in danger or being hurt, I would then make myself speak about it. And 2 weeks ago, actually 3 weeks ago now, I was informed by 3 separate people, one of whom was present for said incident, that he had done something similar to something that he had done to me, and to someone in LA at the end of September. And this person is not a streamer or content creator, but obviously that does not matter. And because of this, I cannot in good conscience sit here knowing that I know critical information about someone that almost no one else does and not say anything. I think that most issues and dramas should stay private and off the internet. And I still hold that belief to this day, and I will hold that belief going forward. However, there are certain things that cross the line, and I say that the line has been crossed too many times to be count. There's a point where I believe that people deserve to know. I think that at a certain point, if you know a lot of things about someone and you don't say anything to look out for others, it's wrong. It's wrong to keep it to yourself. I don't want what happened to me or what has happened to other people because of him to happen to other people. And I don't believe he will ever stop behaving the way he does.
Okay, so she makes an accusation that 3 people informed her that he did something similar to something he did to her to another person, not a content creator, someone in Los Angeles at the end of September. I don't go into this claim because I can't confirm or debunk that claim, obviously, because she doesn't elaborate on what she's talking about, and because Mizkif hasn't talked about this at all. So there's no way for me to confirm or debunk. So we're not going to go into that one. That's the only claim we're not going to be going into at all, though. So let's start with psychological abuse. Poggers, just kidding. Not cool, dude. Not a cool thing to do to people, really. Claim 1, creating a codependent relationship where she was dependent on him being Mizkif, for feelings of safety, social life, my stream, my job, everything. So the implication here is essentially that there's a power imbalance in the relationship, which is kind of like de facto true, at least in the beginning. However, a power imbalance doesn't necessarily mean it was a toxic dynamic or anything like that. It's just how they go about it. So let's hear what she says.
And we grew very close over time, and I was very dependent on him for feelings of safety, social life, like my stream, my job, everything. So yeah, besides it being a very codependent relationship.
So she calls it codependent, obviously. Here's Mizkif's response. So I said he had a partial response, characterized relationships similarly to Emiru. Extremely codependent, honeymoon phase was hitting for these two. Glosses over the implication from Emiru here that he was in total control of her life.
It was the beginning of January of 2022. Emmy just had her huge party in an arcade celebrating her birthday on stream. Everyone from Austin was there, and as we were celebrating her joining OTK, there was a huge scare. Someone outside in the parking lot rammed into my Audi R8 and drove off. And while we were outside thinking it was a schizo viewer, we were told that the person who just hit my car was now inside holding a gun. This scared us to no end. Me and Connery's pants ran inside in fear to get everyone out and make sure everything is okay. My first concern was Emmy. I wanted her to be safe. The cops came, the drunk driver did have a gun, and was sentenced to 3 to 5 years in prison. Me and Emmy were terrified that night. And on the way home, I grabbed her hand, and she grabbed mine. And we knew we were trauma bonded, and we didn't want to let go. We would wake up together, stream together, and hang out with each other all night. She quickly became my best friend, and someone that I felt for the first time I was in love with. We hung out all day, every day. We were always so happy with each other. Playing games until the night, loving every moment we were with each other, it felt poor. Jack, relax. I remember one day I left my house. She called me just so we can be on the phone together, as we always did. And we were playing a song called Falling in Love with You with Elvis came on, and I felt that love, first time I felt love for a girl, and I thought I'd want it to never let it go.
It's also wild that he's reading his chat while he's going through this, but okay. He essentially characterizes it pretty similarly. He doesn't talk about any like kind of power imbalance thing going on here. So that's why I gave it a partial response. Claim number 2, refusing to stream at the same time as her, which she initially thought was for performance, but later implied was controlling. So let's listen to this.
After the cover-up allegations happened and he was starting to kind of struggle on his stream, he never wanted to stream at the same time as me. We really avoided it. And to me at the time it made sense because I was like, well, of course, we share a lot of community members. If we're live at separate times, we're both gonna perform better. It makes sense. But yeah, we were never really live doing the same thing at the same time for a long time, with the exception of things like events or sponsors or just special things.
So she alleges that viewership Andy, Mizkif, was not willing for them to stream at the same time. And she later goes on to say, I don't know if it's in any of these clips I have later or not. I can't remember. But she says something along the lines of she would only stream on like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday to work around his schedule, basically, because he was so obsessed with like min-maxing viewer numbers, you know? In response to this claim, I said, direct response, probably best response he gave to anything, incredibly honest and self-aware. I do feel that way about what he says here.
Why was viewership so important? I will bluntly say this, and I'm very honest. I was, and I still am, but I very much was someone that was massively obsessed with streaming and viewership. And when my cancellation happened, and even before it, I mean, it's something you guys know. I've been massively obsessed with streaming and viewership over the years, and it's disgusting, and it has ruined my fucking life. It is something that I am envious of others. I am angry at others because of it. It makes me jealous when I see others doing well. And it has made me realize that I am, I'm never happy for someone else if they're doing much better than me. You guys know this is true if you watch my old stream. I've always been this way. I've been very envious of other people. And it's a problem. I'm definitely way better than I was now, or I am now, but it's a serious problem that I am still working on to this day. I am not perfect, and I fucked up with that. I've been this way for a very fucking long time, where I'm a competitive dude, and I think I'm very competitive with streaming because I really care about it a lot. I've sunk my whole life into this thing.
He frames it a little weird there, honestly, at the end with the competitive thing, now that I'm watching this back. But still, the first, 45 seconds to a minute of this clip was pretty good, at least. Okay. So I gave him a direct response for that. And yes, I do have a tally over here, which we will go over after I finish each category of accusation. Claim 3, becoming upset that she had higher viewership than him during the Rust event. Now this is some funny ass shit right here. And I gotta go find the little montage that was made about this, 'cause holy fuck.
We're both streaming the Rust event, and I thought it was going really well. I thought everyone was having fun. I was like, oh, this is great. Everyone's, doing the same thing at the same time. We're all hanging out. We're gonna have fun. Like, I was really, really excited. And then I start seeing in my chat people start saying unofficial Ms. raid, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then I check my Discord messages, and he's messaging me. He's saying like, Emmy, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna KMS. I waited so long for this, etc. Basically he was upset because I had higher viewership than him. That's literally it. I had higher viewership than him. And like I said, this is during an event, so there were drops. Like, everyone knows when there's drops, like, it's not even fucking real, but yeah, he starts messaging me. He's really upset. I tried to tell him, I was like, bro, you should come back and play. Everyone's having fun. Everyone's like wondering where you are. But yeah, he ended his stream.
Now, I don't believe, no response. Mizkif doesn't address this at all in his response stream, so he does not get a point for a response there at all. And then we have this video, which I will now drag in. So the allegation is that they were doing a Rust event together. They both had a bunch of viewers, and then she starts seeing people in her chat saying unofficial Ms. raid. And she's like, what is going on? And then she sees Mizkif messaging her on Discord saying like, I'm going to kill myself. I waited so long for that. So like, he ended his stream because he was salty that she had more viewers, basically. And now, actually, now I think about it, this video kind of addresses these later things a little bit too. So let's watch this first. So this is the second half of the Rust situation story, and then we'll watch the actual video of that story, because someone went back and found all of the clips. So claim 4, walking behind her stream and making sure she knew he was there as a form of intimidation, telling her, I hate all of you guys, all you do is take from me, and then instructing her to go finish your stream so that people don't know anything is wrong. He was also slamming doors and shit, which I think I go over in the domestic abuse claims, but I'll let her tell this story.
And And then I'm still live, you know, trying to act like nothing's wrong. And in that house, I had a glass door so I could like see this was happening. He was walking behind me, making sure that I knew he was there. And by the way, so there were many ways out of that house if he wanted to leave the house that were closer to his stream room. He intentionally chose the door that was right by my room. I feel like that's pretty apparent, at least to me. He starts walking behind my stream and slamming the door so loud that my noise gate can pick it up. So even people on my stream are able to hear this is happening. And he slams it so hard and so many times that the front door literally broke. The lock did not work anymore. It didn't work for months, and it would just make this horrible sound that I would have to hear like every fucking day. But anyway, so I hear him back there doing this, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I tell my stream, I'm like, hey, guys, I'll be right back. I get up and I go talk to him, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, Emmy, like, I hate all of you guys. Like, all you guys do is just take from me, and like, I'm just done. Like, I'm just done. And I was like, is this like really happening because of rush drops? And he was like, I don't know what else to do. He was like going off on me, like basically saying that he hated me. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do now. And he was like, go finish your stream so that people don't know anything's wrong. And I stop in the bathroom outside my stream room, and I'm like, you know, checking my makeup, trying to make sure people can't tell that I was like crying. And I'm only in there for like 30 seconds, and he comes and like looms in the doorway. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm just checking my makeup. So I go back and I stream for a couple hours, finish the stream, do my best to just like, you know, carry on the show basically. And yeah, after that, like I said, was when things started to get really fucking bad. It was like something just snapped.
So that's the story that she gives, and this is backed up pretty much 100% by this video, and also the fact that Mizkif didn't respond to this story at all. So here's the video. Look how hype he is, bro. He's got a fucking flamethrower.
Today is the Rust server. Chat, I'm excited. We got some stuff, dude. We're gonna start talking to people again. We're gonna hang out a little bit.
Got raw pork.
I'll fucking take it.
Would you like some raw pork?
Yeah, I'll fucking take raw pork. Hell yeah.
So you can see. Oh god. 13,500 viewers, 7,520 viewers on Emiru's stream, meanwhile.
Hell yeah.
Enjoy.
So I thought, why not build a house
22.5, 19.5.
up here?
Yes. I can pay rent in your house.
Okay, let's do it. Yep. Oh, wait, check this out. Come here.
Ooh.
Not bad, huh?
The house?
And then he drops to 19.5. He drops, and she goes way up. It's his fault. It's a skill issue, by the way, why this happened. It's because they were doing drops. So people literally, this is why this is so fucking stupid too, is because drops streams, like half the viewers are just sitting there with the stream open, not paying any attention to it, maybe have it muted even, and they're just fucking trying to farm whatever the drops are. So it's not even real numbers. Like, these are fake viewers for both of them. And Mizkif put drops as the third word in his title, and she has drops as the first word in brackets, so people are probably just clicking on her stream when it's higher in the directory because they don't see that he has exclusive drops or whatever, but she has the same exclusive drops, so.
Wait, our houses literally look exactly the same.
Yep.
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah.
see Emmy. I can't believe you guys have made separate houses.
The biggest sweats, you retards.
They will come after you guys.
They're the biggest
we
sweats.
can stop them early.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it, dude. We'll join the resistance.
So mad, dude. Why is he so mad?
Yeah, my bad. No, I hardly slept last night. That's why I seem tired today. Because I'm honestly fucking tired, chat. I'll be honest. I'm pretty tired. I'm just tired. Alright, chat. I'll see you guys later.
Okay.
I will see you guys probably tonight, if not tomorrow. I just need a nap. I'm fucking zooted out of my mind.
What does unofficial Mizraid mean?
Guys,
Oh, he did?
Listen, why are we all acting like we haven't murdered? Like we haven't pillaged? Like we haven't had to do what we had to do to make it?
So you could hear he's just slamming the door in the background. I think you could see him back here too. Yeah.
All acting like we haven't murdered. Like we haven't pillaged. Like we haven't had to do what we
Dude, holy fuck, that's so loud. Yeah, there he is.
Guys,
Oh, he did?
Listen, why are we all acting like we haven't murdered? Like we haven't pillaged? Like we haven't had to do what we had to do to make it here where we she had a one-hit advantage. She was coming after me. I had to attack back.
What the fuck is this?
What are you? Was that a test?
You said.
Well, I have some cloth in my house.
Dude, holy shit.
Let me check my body real quick.
This is unhinged.
Yeah. Go to the restroom real quick. I'll be right
There you
back. Yeah, she's trapped now.
Bonnie, look what I did.
Sick. Okay, sick. Okay, I'm stuck in here. Okay, sick.
I'm gonna make some steps.
Hello, sorry. It's like 20 minutes. Oh. Hello. Abaragi, thanks for the sub.
Vibes are off.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna log out for now, but I'll probably come back later. And if not today, then tomorrow my normal time, so.
Vibes were off. So that's the Rust incident. And again, Mizkif did not address this story at all. Didn't say a word about it. So next, psych abuse claim. Claim 5, screaming at her while she was trying to sleep, telling her it was all my fault that he felt insecure.
And then at home, other things would happen, like I'd be trying to sleep and he would scream at me and say that it was all my fault that he felt insecure.
No response from Mizkif on this one at all. No, he didn't address this at all. So that's another nopers on that one. Claim 6, punishing her for her professional success. She felt stuck in a loop where she would be punished for it if she performed too well, making her feel that he hated me, but he still wanted me around for his channel and his thumbnails.
There was a time that I walked into a room that he was in, and as soon as he saw me there, he threw his phone at the dresser and started yelling because I had posted a YouTube video within the same couple of days as him, and mine was doing better. So basically, I felt like I was kind of stuck in a loop where I felt like I had to constantly perform and like prove my value to not be thrown away. But at the same time, if I ever performed too well, I was gonna be punished for it. And it just felt like a very rough situation to be stuck in because, I mean, streaming is my hobby and my job. Like, it's a huge part of my life, even before, you know, I met him and became like a larger creator. And I remember thinking all the time how it felt like he hated me, but he still wanted me around for his channel and like his thumbnails and everything.
Jesus, bro. He gave a partial response. He partially admits to this, stating, I would use her for content, but after stream would want to be alone. Doesn't directly address punishing her for succeeding.
The fights from these times started to get worse. I would constantly want to be farther and farther from her. I would use her for content, but after stream would want to be alone. I didn't know how to break up with her or end things. She was a co-owner of my org, the only person I knew, and the strain of the relationship and hiding the relationship was really taking a toll on me.
So based on the fact that he didn't directly address this, he gave like a kind of partial response that partially admitted to this. I think it's fair to say that this is probably almost certainly true, her claim here about the being stuck in a loop, especially based on this Rust situation we just watched. So claim 7, changing his tone instantly from very physically aggressive to calm when he realized a roommate was watching him confront her. So this is a longer clip because it's a story and she has to give the context to it.
And this is still before I moved out. There was a time where it was the tension in the house was so unbearable that I would sneak out and I would sneak into Esfan's house using my code. And Esfan didn't know why I was doing this. He saw me a couple times. I'd be like, oh, I'm just gonna go take a nap in your guest room. He'd be like, yeah, that's fine. I would sneak into Esfan's house just to have some time of like peace and quiet. But eventually he figured out where I was going and he would go over to Esfan's house to keep telling me off. And there was a time that he did it and I was laying in the guest room bed and one of the roommates in that house had come to see like why I was crying, and they were standing in the corner, and he came in and he was very physically aggressive. He was like, Emmy, like, what are you doing? Like, angry. And then as soon as he turned and saw this other person standing there, he instantly like deflated and changed his tone. He was like, oh, Emmy, I was wondering where you were. Like, are you coming home? And that roommate like later asked me about it and they were like, what the fuck was that? Like, are you okay? And I was just like, oh, it's nothing, because I felt like a lot of the reason that I didn't tell the people around me was because I felt like no one would understand, or even if they understood, it would just be a burden to them, because all of our streams and social circles and communities are so intertwined. I was like, maybe it's just better for me to deal with this and like hope things get better, basically.
I don't believe he addresses this at all. No, he doesn't. So this is a pattern here. And it's especially true of this first category here, but it's true throughout. Like, Mrs. response was just bad. He didn't address so many fucking claims against him. Like, across the board, he did a bad job just addressing what he was accused of, or deflecting, or like, so like, I'm pretty sure like 98% of the things that Emiru said in this stream and are probably true, or at least mostly true, which does not bode well for Mr. Kiff here. But claim 8, we're still in the psychological abuse category. However, this is the longest category. So there are 11 claims in this one. We're on claim 8. Gaslighting her by hammering into me how he never physically abused me because he never hit me. Coaching her to tell other streamers, tell them I never hit you, make sure they know I never hit you. So I do consider this gaslighting, by the way. Based on her other claims, which we will get to in the domestic abuse category, and not Zoomer gaslighting, where they use that word for fucking everything, but actual real gaslighting.
And he'd also always hammer into me how he never physically abused me because he never hit me, and he would coach me and tell me to tell people or other streamers who were asking about it, because they were concerned. He would say, tell them that I never hit you. Make sure that they know that I never hit you.
Now, we'll get into this later. I'm not going to go into this right now, but he did physically abuse her, absolutely, in my opinion. Based on the story she tells later and his responses later to various things, which were very dodgy and weird. I do believe that that is true, that he did that. And him hammering into her, as she says, how he never physically abused her because he never hit her. I mean, like, he threw a phone in her face and shit, and spoilers. So, I mean, I would consider that physical abuse, probably. And he also says something very funny later in this vein, which we'll get to. So, partial response essentially reiterates that he never hit her, downplays situations where he threw things at her. Oh, we're going to get into this right now, maybe. May or may not confirm gaslighting implication, or Ms. is telling the truth. Hard to say. Doesn't address the coaching allegations at all.
That's it. And when that's the whole thing. I didn't throw it at her. I want to make that very clear. I never threw it at her. I never hit her. And she even said in her situation that she bruises easily.
So, okay. There is a later clip that goes more into this story. I would presume in this category. I don't remember. I did a lot. Essentially, he's reiterating exactly what she said, which is that he would constantly like hammer home, like, I never hit her. I never hit her. I never hit you. I never. So, I mean, we'll get into these claims later, but he gave a partial response to this. So there's that, I suppose. Claiming it's my fault that his stream is dying because his viewers liked her, stating he needed to get his career back by being able to hit on other girls and convince them it was real. So blaming her that his stream is dying is hilarious because he probably got viewership spikes every time she was on there. He's claiming she stole viewers from him, but apparently they weren't even streaming at the same fucking time, so that doesn't really make any sense because he didn't want them to stream at the same time because he's a viewer Andy, but whatever. Let's listen to her talk about it.
I wanted to be cool and I wanted us to be able to coexist in the same streaming sphere, but I felt like I could never win, and he hated my whole existence, like ever since that one stream where I had like a little bit more viewers than him. And he would say that it was my fault that his stream was dying because most of his viewers liked me, and whenever he hit on another girl, they would be confused or not take it seriously because they knew that me and him were together privately. And he said if he would be able to hit on other girls and convince them that it was real, he would get his career back.
The thing about hitting on other girls and convincing them it's real, that's interesting. I think what she's saying, he was saying, is that like if you would be able to flirt with girls and have them flirt back and shit, you would get more viewers, which is true, but that's like a horrible way to gain viewership because those viewers don't like stick around. Having girls on your stream to like grow or whatever, that is like a thing that people do that seems to work, or not even to grow. It's like view botting, like you get like a boost, but it's like, it's not like it's real viewership, as real as that can be considered, whatever. But it's not like you're developing like new long-term fans or whatever the fuck, if that makes any sense. They're there for the girls. They're there for the Coomer content. That's all. I don't think he addressed this at all. Yeah, no response. Claim 10, telling her horrible things about other streamers in Austin, such as I hate everyone here and you're all useless to me. These are like things that like a psycho fucking says. How does he not say this stuff out loud and not realize like, bro, like I am fucking cooked in the head? But whatever.
He started saying terrible things to me about other streamers in Austin. In particular, one specific streamer who I know there's a lot of people that know he has beef with certain streamers. It was not one of those streamers. It was someone who to this day has been nothing but nice to him. He would say horrible things about this person, like about them in their stream, and it was very hard to listen to. And just in general, he would say horrible things about other streamers in Austin, like, I quote, "I hate everyone here. You are all useless to me. You're worthless to me because it does nothing for my stream anymore to collab with any of you."
Bro, these are like so unhinged to say. I don't think he directly responds to this. Maybe he does. No, he doesn't. But based on the clip earlier that we watched about him kind of owning up to the fact that he was like mentally ill about viewership and viewers and obsessed with viewers and never happy for anyone else if they do well because it made him envious and shit, I'm going to go with this is probably real. And the final claim in the psychological abuse category that we have is telling her friends he was saying things to guilt me into responding him after they separated. So I didn't preface this. I don't think I mentioned this earlier. They were dating secretly for a couple years or some shit. But after they had separated, no contact, and she had like started ignoring him and shit, I guess. I guess he was saying shit to try and like guilt trip her into talking to him when she wouldn't.
The messages were just simple things, like him saying he was worried about things or saying no one was talking to him, which I don't think was even true at the time. I think he was just saying that to try to guilt me into responding to him. I'm not sure about that, of course.
And I believe he does not respond to this either. So that's kind of a minor claim. That is all 11 claims of psychological abuse. Now you can claim that other stuff later could also be considered psychological abuse. You could claim some of this would be considered like domestic abuse, probably. The categorization doesn't matter that much. How I broke down the claims, you can take issue with that, but I tried to do it in a way that was favorable to Mizkif. And I'm prefacing this in the same way again because the numbers are not good for Mizkif. I'm going to tell you right now, they're not great in terms of his response. I tried to structure the way I did the numbers in a way that would be favorable to him. For example, there are a couple things where like I could have given him like 10 no responses in a row, but I would group them together into one thing and call that a no response because they were all within the same like sentence that Emiru made the claim, which we'll get to in a second with the domestic abuse stuff. But for the psychological abuse, he gave one direct response. That was the viewership thing. He gave one direct response. He kind of cheapened it a little bit at the end, frankly, with the thing about, I'm a competitive dude. I've always been a competitive dude. He's trying to make himself sound like Michael Jordan. It's like, nah, bro, you're like, fuck, you're not that. You're not that. He gave 3 partial responses where he didn't directly address the claim, but address the concept, usually. And then he no responded 7 of these claims. And this gets to the larger problem I have with Mizkif's response in general here, which is the fact that he just didn't address a ton of shit she said. And I think his response stream was like incredibly weak, personally. I think it was just good enough to like convince the most retarded people in his audience, the slow pokes, you know, and the slow bros in his audience, I think will buy into this. I think I was watching Quinn69 talk about this a little bit. He made a really interesting point that I hadn't thought about, which is his chat and his audience is going to be so fucking toxic moving forward. It's just going to be like the most like woman hater incel people in his audience probably. And that probably is true because I think his response was incredibly weak. So if you're buying into this, it's either like you're such a diehard Mizkif fan or you're such a diehard Emiru hater, or you just will defend any guy who's accused of anything. Not great. 137 is what we got. 1 direct response, 3 partial responses, 7 no responses out of 11 claims in this category. So the next category we have is domestic abuse. These are more serious allegations, even though what we've gone through so far is already pretty cooked. Throwing plastic bottles with liquid in them at her, throwing his phone at her, which gave her a black eye. Now there is actually a clip validating this story from her. This didn't happen on stream, obviously, but I'll try and find that clip because I don't think I saved it.
It was definitely slow over time that bad things started happening. At the start, it would be things like, for example, he would throw bottles, like plastic bottles with liquid in it, not like glass bottles, at me, despite me telling him like I didn't like it and it scared me and I bruised very easily.
So it's a pretty serious accusation. Now Mizkif does respond to this, and he responds directly to this story.
She brushed over that I threw water bottles or my phone near her, but that wasn't during fights. I want to make that very clear. It would be me throwing my phone on my bed when I brushed my teeth. She did tell me she got a bruise from it, and I stopped. That's all that happened. I will throw you and show you an example, chat. I'm brushing my teeth. Right here. Look at me. I would throw my phone on the bed. I would just lob it over because I was going to bed. So I would just throw the phone. That's it. And when that's the whole thing. I didn't throw it at her. I want to make that very clear. I never threw it at her. I never hit her. And she even said in her situation that she bruises easily. She brushed over that I threw water bottles with her on my phone near her, but that wasn't during our fights. It would be throwing my phone on my bed when I brushed my teeth. She did tell me she got bruises from it, and I stopped. That's all that happened. That's it.
Whether or not you believe that story, personally, I think this sounds fucking absurd a little bit, to be honest with you. I don't think this is a sufficient explanation because... So you're throwing the phone in her direction, but she like bruised. Damn, bro, how'd it hit her in the eye? Maybe it bounced off the bed, hit her in the eye. To me, if I'm being maximally charitable to Mizkif here, which I don't really think he earns, but the best way to interpret this, in my opinion, is he would like throw his phone. Maybe he was like throwing stuff at her to like fuck with her. So we do know that There's another clip relevant to this too, which I will go through right now. There are a couple clips I need to go through for this. This is one of the heavier claims, so I think it's worth doing that. But the most charitable way is maybe he was fucking with her, or maybe it bounced weird on the bed. It's a weird thing to bring up if it wasn't something weird going on there. I wish she elaborated more on this or responded to his response so we knew a little bit more. So I just want to make it clear. I did not make this clip. Someone else made this clip. This is schizophrenic as fuck. This is psycho insane shit, the person who found this, but it is relevant. So we're just going to watch it, okay?
I actually had like a small black eye from running into something and no one could tell.
This is an old clip.
Yeah, no one could tell. I thought I wouldn't be able to cover it because it was really bad.
Damn.
Deserved me to myself. What'd you run into? I was like turning a corner really fast and I hit like the bottom of my eye socket on the wall. I didn't want to admit it, but
sounds like a fake story, but you know, draw your own conclusions.
How? Wait, let me see if I can find a picture.
After nervously, what is this? The guy who made this. After nervously laughing at chat's jokes, Emiru never showed a picture of her black eye. However, she did accidentally leak an image of it while alt-tabbing on her main stream sometime later. Clip follows.
Neo, thanks for the sub.
Can you go frame by frame in Obsidian? Probably not, right? So this is the picture. Here's a still frame of the alt tab leak and zoomed in. So many tabs, bro. Goddamn. So I guess this is the black eye. Jesus Christ. Interesting stuff here. Anyways, that's pretty cooked. If Mizkif did that. Lol. Damn, bro. Anyways, so his explanation, he tossed his phone on his bed while he was brushing his teeth. Not sure I'm buying that one personally, but you know, draw your own conclusions.
He would throw his phone at me. I would tell him, you know, it scared me, I don't like it. And one time it even hit me in the eye, which caused me to get a black eye, but he always, you know, was like, oh, it's an accident. And I was like, oh yeah, it's an accident. Like, you know, of course I'm not gonna think that, you know, he's... Yeah, I just...
So why is she saying he was like...
You know, was like, oh, he always, you know, was like, oh, it's...
Is she, the way she's telling the story, she makes it sound like this happened frequently where he was throwing things at her and like it was hitting her. So based on everything else I've seen about Mr. Kiff here, the defendant, I do believe he would probably be petty enough to like throw shit at her and like hit her with shit and then be like, oh, I'm sorry, it was an accident. But I mean, like, you know, that's a leap in logic, you know. But I did give Mizkif here because the way I'm evaluating this here is, did he directly respond or not? Now you can take issue with that methodology and you can kind of pick apart how I did it because it wasn't super scientific or whatever the fuck. But I do think that it's a decent way, because if he's like on it, because I put myself in his shoes here, right? And if I was him and if I was totally innocent or like largely innocent of a lot of this stuff, what I would sit down is I would go through her things word by word and I would clip it up and I would go through everything and you know, rebuke anything that was unfairly portrayed, anything that was not true at all, any single piece of evidence I had anywhere. And Mizkif only shows one single piece of evidence, if I remember correctly, in his entire response stream, and it is some weak shit. So his response to me, it felt rushed, it felt weak, it felt like it didn't address a lot of the things she said, and a lot of the things she said that he did address, he addressed in a very, what felt like a dodgy manner, in my opinion. We're going to keep going through these, and I will continue to try to be fair to him, but these are my honest opinions here. Claim 3, destroying furniture in front of her, throwing things in front of me, near me, destroying walls, leaving holes visible in his VODs, banging on her locked stream room door and screaming at her while she hid from him.
He would, destroy furniture in front of me. He would throw things in front of me and near me. Destroy walls. Again, you can go see this in some of his VODs in his bedroom, the holes in the wall. There would be times where he was upset at me, and I would go to my stream room and literally lock myself in to get away from him, and he would be banging on the door and screaming at me.
Mizkif does give a direct response to this. He admits to most of it, but says perhaps the funniest thing in the entire stream here without a shred of irony. False equivalency being made here, but obviously, but direct response nonetheless. See, like, I'm trying to be fair to Emiru.
Every month went by the last year, and our fights started to get louder. We were breaking up with each other almost weekly. Fights were getting more aggressive, and shouting began to increase. I was not perfect, and I reflect on those situations with poor taste to myself. I'm ashamed that the situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression.
Brother. He said this with a straight... This is why I think this response was so dog shit. This is what gives me the feeling it was rushed, is because there's no way he went through this. I wonder if he cringed at himself when he read it, or if he's actually just a fucking idiot. Because when you read this back out loud, like, dude, you sound so fucking stupid. I'm not saying it's okay to throw anything at anyone, but, like, holy fuck, dude, give me a fucking break. Come on.
So bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression.
Like, this sentence, just listen to this sentence, dude. Listen to the first half, what he accuses her of, and then what he admits to.
Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression.
Come on, dude. She's throwing the Kirby's at him, and he's trying to say it's the same as like punching holes in the wall, or fucking throwing his phone at her and giving her a black eye. Come on, dude. Let's be real here. Let's be serious, Miz. So, like, for this, and just to elaborate earlier on what I was saying about how I was trying to be fair to Miz, destroying furniture in front of me, throwing things in front of me, near me, destroying walls, leaving holes visible in his VODs, banging on her locked stream door, screaming at her while she hid from him. So, like, I could have broken this down into, like, 8 statements, and he barely addresses any of these. He says a couple unrelated things, or not even unrelated, but, like, he says separate things. I could have given all of these, like, no response, no response, no response. I could have broken this down. Instead, I end up giving him direct response for all of this, which maybe I shouldn't have. But, however, I was not so generous on this next one, claim 4. And I actually need to renumber these, because I combined a couple things here. So this was claim 2, and now we're going to claim 3 for domestic abuse. So driving 150 miles an hour and threatening to kill both of us after seeing a Mr. Beast video where another creator was included instead of himself. This is wild.
And at the time, he also would more often do things like going, like if we were driving in the car together, he would be going like 150 miles an hour, and like one time he even said like, well, now we're both gonna die, like threatening to kill both of us. And this wasn't like even necessarily because of me or like because of something I did a lot of the time. Like one of the times that it happened, it was because we were just getting food, and he was on his phone and he saw that Mr. Beast had put out a video. And Mr. Beast had invited another streamer, and he was like, oh, Mr. Beast invited this guy to his video, not me. And I was like, oh, well, you know, like, huh, yeah, I guess so. Which led to him going 150 miles per hour in the car and talking about killing himself while doing it.
Jesus. Scary stuff, scary stuff. So, in response to this is the word. This made me so fucking mad when I was going through all this. Mizkif's response here. I'll just play the clip first, and then I'll read this. My schizo rant.
Did you really drive 150 miles an hour? I'm going to say this very clear. If you know me in Austin, Texas, I drive fast everywhere. I drive fast literally everywhere. I'm in an Audi R8 in Austin, Texas, where the freeways are open. I drive fast all the time. I do. I don't even remember what situation she was talking about. I mean, we were in cars with each other all the time. I remember one time when she was picking me up from the airport, and she was in her blue Corvette, and she started the speed when we were on a straightaway when she was getting mad, and she stayed quiet. I don't remember the exact speed she got up to, but we were definitely flying.
So obviously the problem with this remedial response here is the fact that obviously the fact that what she was saying in this is that he was driving 150 miles an hour, obviously to make her fear for her life, threatening to kill them both, etc. And then he says, bro, I don't know, I drive fast all the time, I have a fast car, bro, I have an Audi R8, bro, I was driving fast, I drive fast all the time. Like, dude, are you serious? This is obviously not even like a semblance of a response, right? So I said, here's what I wrote when I watched this. This is a little unhinged. I said dog shit non-response. This one got its own special tag here. I guess he's responding in a very literal sense, but this doesn't even feel worthy of a partial response tag. I was generous with the first couple claims in this category, maybe too much, so this gets a no response. Obviously, the question is whether you would drive fast to freak her out and control her by making her fear for her life. Not if you drive fast on the fucking highway sometimes, you fucking dipshit. Dude, I was so pissed. But this claim is all but confirmed anyways based on the resurfaced Maya clip. So I guess he has no option but to be obtuse and misdirect here. True, good point, past me. There is a Maya clip that pretty much confirms that this is something he does. And I also didn't show the other Maya clip earlier. Shit.
Anyway, there's something about being trapped in a car with an angry, aggro man that is like the absolute most helpless thing. Dude, I did a guy that would go like 100 miles an hour on the, like we would fight in the car, which was never my decision. Like it just always like happened. Like we just would like fight in the car and then he'd go like 100 and I would like literally like beg him to slow down. I'd be so scared and I'd cry and then he would not slow down until I apologized.
Whoa.
And so then I started driving only. Like I wouldn't let him drive
I wonder who this story is about, guys.
me anywhere. But then if we'd get in a fight while I was driving, he would like pound my ceiling in my glove box.
Ooh,
he would like
scary.
scream and like hit the ceiling and like hit the glove box and just like scream profanity and scream like he would like just call me terrible things while he was doing it. And then I'd pull over and be like, get out of my car, and he'd be like, no. And then I was like, well, okay. Because what am I gonna do?
Yeah, what are you
What am I gonna do?
But also, I skipped this earlier, which was really, I meant to go watch this. I forgot. This first clip here relates to the thing about how Mizkif throws things at people. This gives more veracity to that claim.
No, I'm not talking.
And these are both clips of Maya, who is his ex-girlfriend, which I should be establishing all of this. So
Today.
Well, nobody asked you to, so.
I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
Look at her face. She's so uninterested.
She said no.
Maya unimpressed. That's what that was.
2 Starbucks bags of Starbucks I got you over the past 2 days.
Oh my god.
Skip, that was
Throw
not
it back.
funny.
Throw it
Yeah, there
back.
better be.
Oh my god, I would beat the shit out of him.
We're live.
What the fuck?
We're live, she said.
Jesus. So there's those claims, whatever. Horrible fucking response to the driving fast thing, but it's probably just because it's like completely true. So rip. Claim 4, throwing his phone at a dresser and yelling because her YouTube video was performing better than his.
There was a time that I walked into a room that he was in, and as soon as he saw me there, he threw his phone at the dresser and started yelling because I had posted a YouTube video within the same couple of days as him, and mine was doing better.
Dude, this is so unhinged. Imagine that. No response. He didn't address this at all. Claim 5, randomly screaming at her cat Cheddar and demanding she get that fucking cat out of my house.
I remember the day I took Cheddar to the house, because he just randomly started like screaming at Cheddar. He was like, get that fucking cat out of my house. So I just grabbed Cheddar and put him in my car and grabbed his litter box and took him there, and I just left him there and never took him back to that house.
Direct response, plausible explanation, no way to know for sure if he's lying or if Emiru maliciously omitted this detail. We'll see.
As for me telling Cheddar to leave my house, he was swatting at Chompy constantly and making him bleed. I not only was the one that wanted her to move out first, I was the one that wanted the cat out of the house because he was attacking my cat.
No way to know for sure if this is true unless someone who was around at the time comes out and says so. But then even then they could be lying too. So there's no real way to verify or debunk this claim. But he did directly respond, so I gave him the points. So that's all of the claims for the domestic abuse stuff. Let's go back to our tally here. There were 5 claims. We got 3 direct responses here. Pretty good, honestly. No partial responses, 2 no responses. So if we combine that here, we're looking at 4 direct responses, 3 partial responses, and 9 non-responses, or not even non-responses, but no response at all. So we're at 439. 439. Stalking is where we are now, boys. So Emiru makes this claim. Claim 1, following and monitoring her at a party after their separation, actively searching for her at the party and opening a door to a room she was in, which was later confirmed by a witness.
There was a party that I attended several months after I first went into contact with him. I was aware that he would be there, and I thought it'd be fine. I thought it wouldn't be a big deal. I thought I'll just let him have his space. I'll have my space. You know, it's not a big deal. We're adults, right? During this party, I felt like he was following me around and monitoring me, but I thought that I was just being paranoid. I was like, it's probably just in your head. I was hanging out with Nick and Catchy and a couple other friends. And at some point, Nick was like, it's too fucking loud down here. Let's go upstairs. No one's upstairs. Let's just go, chill in a room and like talk where it's not so loud. And I was like, okay. So they, as a group, went upstairs first without me, but it took me a bit longer to get up there because someone like stopped me and was talking to me. And I did feel like, he was like standing pretty close to that person. I felt like he was watching me, but again, I thought I was just being paranoid. But I went upstairs. I was hanging out with Nick and Catchy and, our other friends. And then about 30 minutes later, the room that we're in, the door opens. It's Miz. He opens the door, makes eye contact with me, goes, ooh, and then closes the door and leaves. And I was like, what the fuck? But again, I was still trying my best to, give the benefit of the doubt, like, maybe it's just like an awkward situation or something. But a couple months later, the person that he was hanging out with that night reached out to me privately and was apologizing. And I was like, why? And they're like, I just felt like I had to apologize to you because I felt so bad and so embarrassed of what was going on. Like, yes, he wanted to see what you were doing. He was saying, like, I want to go see what's upstairs, and he was checking every room. And then after he opened the room that you were in with Nick, he closed the door and started laughing, and then he just wanted to talk about, how you guys broke up for the next, like, however many hours of the night. So I was like, wow, okay, that's good to know, I guess.
So in response to this story, Mizkif does give a direct response. Let's see what Mizkif says. I said, this is he said, she said, no way to know for sure without other people who were present coming out to give their perceptions of what really happened, which is true. Good point. Past me. Wow, what a smart guy.
I did see her at a party once at Simply's house. The house was very small, and I opened the door. I said, whoops, and proceeded to talk in the other room about what I possibly did wrong and began to bawl out and be depressed because I just saw my ex-girlfriend. I want to make it very clear. I was not following her, nor lingering around her. I was with others the entire night. The house is about 2,000 square feet with about 50 people there. I, of course, was near her, but I was never following her.
So no way to know for sure. However, like I said, based on all of his previous behavior thus far that we've seen, not very hard to believe that he would be doing this weirdo shit, but who knows. Claim 2 of stalking. Friends reported that he would obsessively hate watch my stream. This is a more minor claim, all things considered, but
I also had a couple other streamers report to me that he would obsessively watch my stream and not in a like, oh, I wonder what Emmy's doing right now way, or like having my stream open. Like, he would be obsessively and attentively hate watching my stream like watching my stream and just saying horrible things almost every time that I've been live this year.
All things considered, like not really a massive claim at all, to be honest. You could almost make the argument that the person like relaying this story to her might be worse than him doing this himself. Maybe it's some weirdo coping mechanism or whatever. But he didn't respond to this at all. Claim 3 of stalking. He would discuss. Now this is where it starts to get pretty fucking Hannibal Lecter-esque, some weirdo shit. Would discuss with other streamers how she still wanted him. Would ask other guys if they had slept with if she had slept with anybody this year, and would say, there's no way she's done that. She's not like that. She's probably waiting for me. This is like copium mixed with like American Psycho vibes. But
and they tell me that he would want to discuss how he believed I still wanted him. Interesting, considering I never replied. And he would ask other guys if they thought I had slept with anyone this year. They'd be like, I don't fucking know, man. And then they told me he would say stuff like, no, there's no way she's done that. She's not like that. And she's probably waiting for me. Just really fucking gross stuff like that.
no response from Mizkif to that claim either. So not much to be said there other than that's weird as fuck. Claim 4 of stalking. He would tell people that they still talked all the time, they being Mizkif and Emiru, and that she had cut contact months prior. Or no. Let me start over. He would tell people that they still talked all the time when she had already cut contact months prior. And he would say, Mizkif would say that they weren't together anymore because Emiru was too immature and not ready. Just like weird.
And
this is all just like weirdo shit to be saying. This is weird stuff. The vibes are off with these statements.
And a couple of streamers in LA also told me that he was telling people that me and him still talk all the time, but we simply weren't together anymore because I was too mature and I was not ready. I was too immature.
And Mizkif did not respond to this claim either. So as far as stalking goes, we have 1 direct response, no partial responses, and 3 no responses all together. So if we add it up, what did we have before? 5 direct responses to claims she made, 3 partial responses, and 10 non-responses. 5, 3, and 10. Not a great score line. I guess if it was league numbers, it would be 5, 10, and 3. So yeah, not so far. 5 direct, 3 partial, 10 total avoidances of talking about these allegations so far. The numbers don't mean that much, to be honest with you, other than the fact that they are kind of illustrating my point, which is like his response was fucking horrible and didn't address so many different things that it should have, in my opinion. Some of these aren't as important to address. Some of them really are, especially like the driving 150 miles an hour and shit. That was one of the more serious claims. So the next category we have, of which there are 5 claims, some of the funniest claims are in here that really get to like his character as a person. Harassment claim 1, messaging her during her streams to berate her for things like playing the same class as him and WoW.
Around the same time, this was during OnlyFans 2, so I guess like December-ish. He would often message me in the middle of my streams and berate me for things like playing the same class as him in WoW because he thought it would make people think that I was better than him.
So this is just like so fucking goofy. He's like messaging her like, and we have messages for this, by the way, so I can pull these up here. These are the messages between them. He's going in. So he says, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you really don't, you don't, blah, blah. You straight up don't have to because you're a DPS. Yeah, I know where this is going. I'm not dealing with it. I asked for a boundary and it's always crossed. You don't know boundaries. How can I not tank as a warrior in dungeon? So this is classic WoW, which is a 0 skill game, by the way, where he's like freaking out because they're both going to play like warriors. When I said I don't want to be a tank, I meant I don't want to be a tank in raid, which is still true because I don't know what I'm doing. You do not need to tank in dungeons. So now I'm going to get so much shit nonstop. Emmy's better. Emmy this. I can't have anything, Emmy. You just take. You already played Warrior when I told you we're going to get compared. Girl with 27K couldn't find a Warrior. You can't, dude. He talks about viewership so much too. You know, I know what you're doing right now and I'm not dealing with it because now I'm going to get compared nonstop because now people are just going to say you're better because I told you this when you first told me you wanted to play Warrior and it's already happening and you just don't care about this stuff ever. There's no boundaries with you. Now we're the same class, same thing. Tanks. She says, dude, don't dude me. I asked for one thing with you. Don't be a tank and now you're tanking. What can I do? Don't tank. Yep, there it is. Tank Emmy, do it. Let me handle all the hate. The criticism, the you're worse than Emmys, the Emmy's so much better, the people saying you're better in every chat, the comparisons, since nobody will be on my side, let me deal with it. You have fun. I asked you not to become tank and you didn't listen and now it's the classic, what was I supposed to do? I'm not dealing with this. And then he does this, which is literally like, he's like spamming her to get her to respond. He's like trying to make her fucking pings go off so she responds. Goddamn, bro. Okay. Anyways, so... He did not respond. He did not respond to the classic wow crying Andy allegations. I'm going to go with this one's obviously true. I mean, we have screenshot. These are like some of the claims we actually have screenshots to back up. So Jesus Christ, brother, get a grip. This is unhinged. This is so, don't play the same class as me. Please, please don't, please. Like this is unhinged. Claim 2, threatening to come to her house if she didn't answer his calls during their breakup. All right, dramatic tone shift here. He does not address this, I don't think.
And him saying that was the final straw for me. The day that he said that to me about other people was the first day that I ever, for the first time, started to ignore his calls and messages. And because of that, he even threatened to come to my house if I didn't answer.
It's pretty cooked, man. Pretty cooked. Just to make sure. Yeah, no response. So no response to either of these so far in the harassment category. Claim 3, after she cut all contact, he attempted to contact me over 40 times individually via Discord, text, Instagram, and phone calls.
I haven't spoken to him since January of this year. It only took a couple of weeks, but soon the messages started. He has attempted to contact me over 40 times individually this year in individual texts, Discord messages, Instagram DMs, and phone calls.
So I'm not reading all these because I don't think it's like a huge, horrible thing to message someone if they haven't blocked you or whatever. Obviously he looks unhinged, but like it's not like he's like committing some crime and it's not like he's saying anything here that's really crazy. He just looks like desperate, you know, but I don't think it's like the end of the world to like message someone a bunch of times when they're not responding. Like it's not good. You probably shouldn't do it. It's probably kind of weird, but also she can block him on all these places if she really just doesn't want to talk to him or see his messages that much, you know? So this is I believe this is the message, the set of messages or whatever that everyone says is ChatGPT, which I think if you read his other shit that he wrote, this is obviously ChatGPT. Also, when you use these weird long dashes, ChatGPT uses those a lot. He's also messaging her on like Instagram and shit. Those are all those messages. I don't really care that much about this, frankly. He's done way worse things in this story than send her a bunch of like dumb like I miss you shit. You know, now you could obviously make the argument that he's doing like damage control or whatever the fuck because he knows she has a bunch of info that could cook him alive. And you'd probably be right. But he also could have just been like heartbroken or whatever. It is what it is. Either way, I wouldn't consider this some grave offense. Obviously, the screenshots and the amount of messages and whatnot makes him look unhinged. And people are clowning on him for it pretty hardcore. But I don't think it's the end of the world. That's my opinion, though. When she said he contacted her 40 times, he gave a direct response. He gave an explanation. I said it was understandable, albeit cringe. Many people have been there.
I have messaged her numerous times wondering why I have been removed from OTK, Discords, and I was very scared because I didn't know what was going on. Nobody was talking to me or contacting me, and I have had so much regret. Times where I wanted to go back, times where I've drunk messaged her love letters, as you saw on stream. But after 10 months, I know we're much better off without each other.
Claim 4, telling more of my personal stalkers. This one's a lot worse, by the way. this next thing we're going into. Telling more of my personal stalker stories that I have never shared or talked about myself on his stream, falsely framing himself as a hero in one of her stalker stories, claiming he held the stalker at gunpoint when he did not. This is what Emiru says. This is a 5-minute clip.
Yeah, so, yeah, it happened March 3rd of this year. A lot of people were talking about it, talking about how me, Ray, and Cinna were attacked. Which was not an issue. Like, we had no issue with that. Like, obviously, it's big news. People are going to talk about it. It should be talked about. We had, like, no issues with anyone talking about it and covering it, and that included him. I was fine with that. He joined in on that whole thing of people going live to talk about it. And again, I'd like to remind people at this point, we were already a couple months into me making no contact with him, making it clear I didn't want anything to do with him. And so during this stream, he was covering what happened to me, Ray, and Cinna. He decided that he was going to tell more of my personal stalker stories that I've never personally talked about or shared publicly myself. And one of these stories was one that, like, no one knew at all, and, like, it just felt so shitty because at the time that those things happened, like, you know, all the people that lived in that area together, we all came together and we all kind of decided, and this was heavily pushed by him, we should never talk about this because, you know, people are going to be weird. It puts Emmy in more danger, and, you know, gives people ideas, so we're never going to talk about it. But, you know, of course, as soon as there's some big drama that he's not involved in, and he finds a way to, you know, bring up, oh, I was there for something that happened to Emmy, he does it. He was on a stream talking about these personal stories of mine, and I caught wind of it. And by the way, it was also so frustrating not say anything at this time because the way he told those stories, he kind of framed himself as, like, the hero. He was like, oh, I held the stalker at gunpoint. No. The only person who ever came into contact face-to-face with that stalker before the police came was Bonnie. Bonnie is the person who found that guy outside, went inside, told everyone, called the police came. All Miz did was he stood far away from the front door, behind glass and metal, with a gun. Yeah, I mean, I understand, still very scary, but why are you acting like if anyone deserves credit for that, it's Bonnie. Like, it's literally stolen valor. I'm so glad I finally get to say that because she is the one who, like, kept everyone in those two houses safe, not him. Anyway, back to the original thing, the Ray and Cinna stuff. I was obviously panicking. Like, I just had this horrible thing happen to me the night before. It was, like, huge, like, public, millions of people seeing it. And then my crazy ex-boyfriend is going live talking about more of my personal stuff. And I'm, like, crying, and Cinna and Ray are like, what's wrong? And I tell them, and I'm, like, panicking. I'm like, I need to call so-and-so, I need to call so-and-so, I need to call so-and-so. Like, these different people that I was like, they can contact him because I did not want to contact him. So, Ray, Cinna, some of me and Miz's mutual business partners, and Asmongold were all messaging him to stop. And by the way, Asmongold told me that he tried to call Miz while he was talking, and it rang 3 times and then hung up, which means that he saw it and he just wanted to be able to keep talking because, yeah, anyway, just a little note. I don't know exactly what, like, the other people said to him, but Ray and Cinna told me that they were messaging him being like, bro, like, stop, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? And he was messaging them, who were also equally as traumatized as me, of course. They had gone through the same thing. Oh, I what am I doing wrong? I'm letting people know what, girls go through. Was that your job? Well, anyway, yeah, that all happened a couple of months into me being no contact with him. And yeah, he was arguing with Ray and Senna while they're trying to be like, bro, like, stop, like, you're making it worse. He finished talking about my stuff and then reacted to Senna and Ray's whole stream where they were crying, addressing their communities, made sure to react to that, and then immediately went offline. So yeah, that was a terrible weekend. I got threatened to be stabbed, and then the next day, my weird ex was going live trying to self-insert so that he could make sure to farm his own clips.
Obviously, the reason why it's bad to like talk about stuff like this, like stalkers and whatnot, is because talking about it causes it to happen more frequently. You're just not supposed to, as frustrating as that might be, because it gives other people ideas. It validates the person who did it. They get their like little attention, whatever. Obviously not worth it, like if you're logical, but these people are nuts, right? Partial response, he doesn't directly address her stolen valor claim, but he does contradict it by repeating that he held the stalker at gunpoint for 30 minutes. We know these millionaires have Ring doorbells. Let's see the footage, boys. I do want to see the footage of this. I want to see Mizkif holding the stalker at gunpoint.
One stalker came to my house, and I had to point a gun at him for 30 minutes until the cops came. These stalkers are no joke, and the pressure from the relationship, the anger I felt, and the stalkers as a whole really made us lash out at each other. She would tell me that she doesn't realize what she's doing, that she didn't understand what she was doing wrong, but I would constantly tell her on and off stream that she needs to do more because these stalkers are getting worse.
So she said it was stolen valor, he was full of shit, and then he repeats the same story. He says that he was holding the stalker at gunpoint for 30 minutes. So I want to see that Ring footage. Release the footage.
One stalker came to my house, and I had to point a gun at him for 30 minutes until the cops came. These stalkers are no joke, and the pressure from the relationship, the anger I felt, and the stalkers as a whole really made us lash out at each other. She would tell me that she doesn't realize what she's doing, that she didn't understand what she was doing wrong, but I would constantly tell her on and off stream that she needs to do more because these stalkers are getting worse.
Claim 5, ramping up attempts to contact her after she and others asked him to stop talking about her stalker incidents, begging me to take him back for 7 to 8 months of the year, and reaching out to streamers we both know to tell them he wanted to get back together and how he thought someday we would reconnect and eventually get married. Yeah, this is like some crazy psycho, like stalker shit, actually. So this could have went in the stalking category, but because it's hearsay and whatnot, I don't put that much weight in this.
After that incident, his attempts to talk to me only ramped up, which I showed those texts. We went back to Japan, and during that trip, he was texting, calling me, trying to call me quite a lot, begging me to take him back. And at the same time, I heard that he was reaching out to quite a few other streamers who know both of us. And he was crying to them about how he wanted to get back together and how he thought someday we would reconnect and eventually get married. I don't think he even meant that, but I hope not. But I assume he did that with the hope that they would relay the messages back to me since I wasn't talking to him. And I mean, some of them did.
So that's kind of creepy, I guess. Whatever. Not the worst claim, but also just very bizarre. He doesn't directly respond to this, but he does. I say he reverse Uno's the claim back at her here.
I'm going to let everyone know that what I'm about to say is very true. This is exactly what happened, and she cannot argue this. One day after staying over Emiru's house, Emiru made me breakfast, and she wrote down everything she wanted. She wrote she wants me to move closer to her. She wrote that she wants me to marry her. And she wants kids with me in the next 5 years. And I just looked at this letter that I was staring in front of me, and I just handed her back the paper. She began to cry, and I told her, I'm sorry, I just can't do this anymore. I knew we were just beyond the point of toxicity in the relationship, that our trust had completely died, and that we had so many issues that I couldn't deal with it, and I was not mentally well. I walked away. I went to her door, and as I opened it, the last words I ever heard her say is, "Don't go. I love you."
So he says that she told him she wanted to have kids or whatever, and then he was like, fuck this, I'm out. That's his telling of the story. She wanted to get married, she wanted to have kids. Whereas she says that he was like, after they'd been broken up and not spoken to each other for months, he was saying, someday we're gonna get married to like other people, which would be bizarre. But again, a lot of these claims are kind of ancillary, like they're not like top of the line worst things he did. They're just kind of weird. And it's also a lot of like hearsay. But like, I think the fact that the worst claims against him have all been validated for the most part kind of gives more weight to these lighter claims as well. But I mean, like, we can't know for sure. All right, there's only one sexual assault claim so far for the tally. So we had one more direct response, one more partial, and then 3 non-responses. So that puts us at 6 direct responses total for all these 4 categories, 4 partial responses, and then 13 claims so far that he has not addressed at all, which again goes to my point about I was dissatisfied with his response because he didn't address so many things. But there's only one claim here in the sexual assault thing, which he does address.
There was a short period in October where we had broken up because, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter now. And when that happened, I honestly felt relieved because I was like, okay, finally, it's like on his terms. So that means he'll be satisfied and he'll be able to say it was his choice and he'll leave me alone. Because whenever I would try to push for it, it just felt like I couldn't like really sever it, if that makes sense. But I mean, obviously, hence me doing this stream, that was not the end of it. A week after this breakup, he asked to come over to my house and talk for closure. He came to my house and I was crying like crazy because the emotions were just very high because I was dealing with a lot of major shifts in my life as a result of me attempting to start to try to distance myself from him. So yeah, we were just talking and I was crying a lot. He started to try to comfort me by hugging me while I was sitting on the couch and holding me really close to him. And when this was happening, we hadn't talked in quite a while, and I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with. But I let him hold me while I was crying. And he started kissing me in my face, and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot. And then suddenly, he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants. And I screamed. Yeah. And when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat, like. And instead of apologizing or checking if I was okay, he said, "I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go." And he immediately left my house while I was still crying without checking if I was okay or anything. And at the time, I was still making excuses for him, and I was still afraid of causing trouble for other streamers around us, or like, you know, making things weird for viewers. I know that probably sounds crazy, but like I just felt this pressure, like I had to try to keep things together, if that makes sense. I felt like I'd caused trouble for so many other people if I ever said anything bad about him, or if I caused rifts in our friend group or streamer group. I tried to stay on good terms with him and hold everything in, and also I still cared about him a lot, and I still at that point had hope that things would get better and that, you know, he would improve.
So that's the sexual assault thing. It's kind of heavy, but like, I don't think it's the worst accusation that could be made against a person. I write like a whole fucking rant about this, which I'll go into, but
We went to get food at BJ's, a common place where we would get food. And then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about 30 minutes and started to kiss. She said that she was okay with this on her stream, and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted. She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong, or did wrong in general. I got scared and left the house. I apologize if that made Emmy uncomfortable for me not saying sorry, and I wish I said sorry back then.
okay, what did I write about this? He confirms everything but frames it expectedly as him misreading the situation, even though this is a cosmic level of failing to read the room, which it is. Holy shit, dude. Almost beyond comprehension. I tend to agree here. The fact that he jumped off of her, and even Emiru says he jumped off of her like a cat immediately when she rejected his advances and immediately left, tells me that despite fucking up massively, he did the right thing by stopping, obviously, and not like putting more pressure on or whatever. You can criticize him for the insanely out-of-pocket misreading of the situation, and you can criticize him for leaving without an apology or without checking if she was all right, and you absolutely should criticize him for those things, but I don't think he was trying to be predatory or take advantage of her or anything like that. I just think he's an insanely self-centered moron. With regard to this claim, I think he's a fucking idiot, but I don't think this is like a career-ending sexual assault accusation or whatever. I think the claims earlier, I think the domestic abuse stuff, the throwing the phone, the driving fast to like make her scared, like that shit is a lot worse than this story. This story is him just being like I don't even know what the word to, like, this is like how like a 6th grader would approach a sexual interaction, like in an inappropriate scenario. So I don't even know how you would explain. I don't know what word would aptly describe him here, but it's not predatory. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair. That's my opinion though. So that adds a direct response here. I'll just go to the total after this last one. Threats of blackmail, the final category that we have here. Planning to claim that I kill animals and that I killed my own rabbits if she ever spoke negatively about him, asking several streamers if they would back him up on the false claims about her rabbits. It would be interesting to hear from these people that he asked this of. I think that would be interesting to hear their perspective or their retelling of this story. I would like that, but for some reason, everyone's too much of a pussy to actually talk about all this. All the people that were like around for so many of these events, I guess, but whatever.
At TwitchCon, he approached one of my employees, threatening them and saying if I ever talked about him, he would destroy me. Multiple people have told me that his plan was to claim that I kill animals and that I killed my own rabbits, since I had several of my rabbits pass away over the course of 3 years while I lived with him. I'm sure he's probably listening now, and it's probably going to come as quite a shock to him that this information made its way back to me and that I've known for months. But if you try to threaten me to stay quiet, especially using my poor dead animals, I'm not going to stay quiet.
Okay, so that's like Rabbitgate. The rabbit angle is kind of crazy, but he does give this a direct response, I believe. Planning to claim she killed her rabbits, asking streamers to back him up. He gives a partial response because he doesn't address the thing about asking other people to back him up. I would assume that that's probably true, but it also seems like he genuinely, at least the impression I got was it seems like he does really believe this. Maybe I'm wrong. Whether or not it's true, whatever. He talks about the rabbits and how Emiru neglects and mistreats them first. So this is one of 2 clips.
Emiru has a lot of rabbits. It was her calling when she first moved in. These were a big part of her life. But as those
text to speech is so crazy. What the fuck? I can't believe he left this shit on.
Part of her life. But as those rabbits moved out of her room and into the living room, they started to see disgusting neglect. No food, no water, sometimes not having clean bedding for weeks. I, along with many others who would come over, would give them what they needed, and I would tell her all the time to take care of them, but to no avail. She completely neglected those rabbits, so much that many of them just died over 1 year of being around in my house. My cleaning ladies would clean them just because they felt terrible, and my brother once came over and said, and I quote, "If you ever marry this woman, I'll never forgive you."
Really takes the weight out of your your fucking reverse allegations when 777 I'm stroking my shit right now 77
7777777777777. I didn't even know there was TTS going on.
Okay, so he makes this allegation, and then he counters the notion that this was blackmail and rather suggests it was mutually assured destruction.
But I want to make it very clear. When it comes to Emiru, when she says that I was getting ready to go after her and that I was going to use her rabbits against her, that was never the plan. My plan for myself was very simple. If Emmy were to say something about me, I would say something back. That's it. I never had a plan in my life to go after her or do anything. It was if she ever said anything, I would say something as well. And that's completely understandable.
Here's the clip where he shows the rabbit cages.
This is a video from my own brother. I didn't record this. These are mites all around her cage. I would tell her to take care of them all the time, but to no avail. She completely neglected those rabbits, so much that many died just over a year or two of being around in my house. My cleaning ladies would clean them just because they felt bad, and my brother once came over and said that if I marry her, he'll never forgive me. In fact, when Maya came over during my cancellation, she actually commented on Emiru's rabbits and said, "These rabbits are completely neglected and this is disgusting."
Okay. Whether or not you believe that is up to you. They might be. Here's what I wrote about this. I tend to agree with the thing about the mutually assured destruction. I tend to agree that like you have kind of like if someone's going after you and trying to destroy your career, you probably have carte blanche to like counter that and go back. But it obviously depends on the situation quite a bit. Like if you're trying to silence someone from like talking about your abuse, it's pretty different. But also, I don't know. It just depends. I think clearly in most of this, Miz comes off a lot worse. I said I tend to agree, although his claims about the rabbits have not been substantiated nearly as much as the multitude of claims against him. Either way, this talking point will probably stick to Emiru for years to come regardless, especially from people who dislike her and from people who like Miz. So if his only goal was mutually assured destruction, then he achieved it at least to some degree. He does not address the claim that he was trying to rally support from other streamers with this claim. I am leaning towards this probably being true, although if Emiru was truly mistreating her pets, then I wouldn't see him looking for some backup here as a necessarily bad thing. If you don't believe in mutually assured destruction, then fair enough. If you think Miz is lying, that's fair too, but it's also a distinct possibility that both people here could have been doing shitty things. And then the second claim of threats of blackmail that she made was that he approached one of her employees at TwitchCon, threatening them and saying, if I ever talked about him, he would destroy me. Destroy. I'll destroy you if you also play Warrior in Classic WoW.
And even something happened this weekend at TwitchCon. One of my employees told me he went up to them and he threatened them, saying, if Emmy ever tries to talk about me, I will destroy her. Whatever that means. And within the same night, he also texted one of my best friends, and he would have known that I would have been with this girl. He texted her saying, hey, worried about her, hope she's okay. You know, right after he just said to my employee and other people that he was gonna try to destroy my life. Yeah, all in the same night.
He really does think I really get the vibe that Mizkif thinks he's like light Yagami, dude. He's trying to do all the mind games and everything and all the, oh my God, bro. So that's the last claim here. He just says straight up he did this.
Can you clarify what, if anything, was said to her team at TwitchCon? I said that if she goes after me, then I will go nuclear. And that is exactly what I said. And that is what's going to happen. Because you can't mess with me anymore. I don't have anything to lose. I'm sorry I don't. Go after me all you want. I have nothing to lose. And I will say this proudly. Emiru abused those rabbits. She did. And if you're in Austin, Texas, and you want to say that she didn't abuse those rabbits at my house, you're lying. You know she did. She abused those rabbits and she let them outside. And it's disgusting. And I didn't want to bring this up ever. This was not something I planned on bringing up in my life. But it's something that she claims that she didn't do. And people are trying to defend her from that. Like Asmongold, where he says that one of her rabbits she took and brought around. What about the other 6 rabbits that died?
So I looked into this a little bit just because I was curious. Rabbits apparently only live like 8 years. I don't know how many fucking rabbits she keeps, but 6 is a lot. But also, if she had like 20, then like maybe it's not that many. I don't fucking know. I don't know. All I know is rabbits smell fucking horrible, and that room they were in probably smelled so bad. But in his position, I can understand this mindset, although if even half the claims against him are true, then obviously the fact that he's trying to keep them under wraps is obviously a terrible look, which is true. And it seems that he is looking terrible to most people. One of my big takeaways from all of this that I'm seeing, and this is a little, I'm making like kind of assumptions here, but also not really. Mizkif like is such a fucking idiot for how bad he fucked things up for himself. Right? Like he bagged 2 different baddies who are like famous, rich, and successful. Fumbled them both by being like a psycho apparently. And he fumbled like he had like a dream career of like making a fuck ton of money and having like influence and fans and whatever. And big chillin' Chipotle partner, by the way. And he's like fucking it all up because he's like a psycho. So that's a bag fumble. But the reason why that thought comes to mind is because when Mizkif was accused of this 2022 situation of him covering up sexual assault by his friend, like covering for him basically to try and save him and Emiru were secretly dating at the time. And she came out and like defended Mizkif when he was being like exposed for all this. And she was like the only motherfucker brave enough to do it.
I mean, you guys know I've lived with Miz for 10 months, and I've hung out with him pretty much every day since I got here. And the Miz that I know would never know the full story and just let that happen. There's just no way that he knew. I'm sorry. That's just not the person that I know.
He knew.
He has always been there for me whenever something horrible happened to me. Without me even having to ask. I've said this a million times, and I had literally nowhere else to go that was safe, that I could also keep all my animals and not have to think about it. He was there for me, and he was there for me when we were in Busan and I was sexually assaulted during our live stream. He's been there for me whenever I've wanted to vent about something that has happened to me in the past, and the picture that's been painted is not the person that I know.
So, you know, when I say he fumbled, like, goddamn, bro. God damn, that's tough. All right, we have the final tallies ready to go now. We've gone through all 6 of these categories, all 28 claims. And in total, Mizkif gave 8 direct responses. 8 of these 28 claims he gave a direct response to. He gave 5 partial responses or dodgy responses. And then for 15 of these 28 claims, he said nothing. He didn't even mention them in his response stream. This is why I thought his response stream was fucking terrible. It doesn't address so many like important things. It does address some of the very biggest things. I think his response to the sexual assault thing was obviously like I said, it's a cosmic level fuck up, but it's also, I don't think he was being predatory. Of all the things you can accuse him of, I don't think that is like the nail in the coffin or whatever. And then so these are the final numbers: 8, 5, and 13. Or if we're doing like kill, death, assist, whatever, 8, 15, and 5. Is that a good score line for a teammate in League of Legends or Counter-Strike or whatever? No, it's not. Okay. Bad response, Mizkif. Where's my gavel? Now, there are a bunch of clips here that I'm just going to go through quickly because they're interesting. They add more texture.
Do you like my setup?
Shut up. Excuse me. Don't talk to me like that, Matthew. Sorry, Maya. No, it's not funny. Every time you do it, it bothers me. It's just me kidding around, Maya. Well, it's not funny to me. I don't think it's funny. I don't know why you say it to me all the time. Because it's funny, Maya. It's just me trolling. I don't even realize I say it. Well, start paying attention to what you have to say.
Okay. He's so fucking cringe. But also, like, I've done shit like this before, so I'm not gonna, like, nail him on a cross for that one. Sometimes you're just, like, an asshole. It is what it is. Seems like it's his default setting, but whatever.
Dude, you know one of my favorite collabs was Emiru, bro.
Oh my god, Emiru was so cool.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Dude, everyone was like so cool.
Emiru, bro, I didn't think Emiru was gonna tap in with us. That's the thing. Because we were with Cinna and Bonnie, but it's just the thing that Emiru, when she popped up, I was like, dude, Emiru was like...
Like, I'm not gonna lie, everyone's been so cool so far, except for like...
I feel like there has to be like a cancer. Like, there has to be like a reason people like, you know what I'm saying? It's always gotta be that one part. But definitely, like, Emiru was definitely probably one of the best.
You think that phases me at all?
What do you mean?
Damn, I never watched this. Like, this is actually insane. They're going in on him, bro. God damn. Who even are these guys?
People like, you know what I'm saying? It's always got to be that one person. But definitely, like, Emiru was definitely.
He says, what does he say?
Emiru was like,
I'm not gonna lie, bro, everyone's been so cool so far except for like.
I feel like there has to
Holy shit.
be like a cancer. Like,
There has to be a cancer, bro. God damn. These guys are going in on him. They're talking about Mizkif right in front of him, but like no one knows any of the Emiru shit like at all either. So it's like they're sneak dissing, but like with like behind the scenes knowledge. This is crazy. And they're calling him a cancer. God damn.
like a reason people.
What did they know, chat?
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's always got to be that one person. But definitely, like, Emiru was definitely probably one of the best.
You think that phases me at all?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean? That like none of this like I don't think you understand. Bro, you can't hurt me. There's nothing you can do.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm not talking about anything.
We collabed with Cinnaboni and Emiru the other day.
That's great. That's fine. Enjoy yourselves, brothers.
Whoa, bro,
Are you okay?
Are you good?
Are you good? Yeah, I'm good. I just gotta go to the bathroom. Like, give me a minute.
Dude,
no, I'm fine.
It's okay.
I know it's okay.
Dude, wait, what's wrong?
I was in
He was
therapy or
pressed,
something,
bro. God damn.
You said nothing. You said you did a collab. That's cool. It's fine. I have no problem with that. I told you there's no issue.
You used to live with Emiru, and then all of a sudden you wanted to use Emiru to become bigger, and you couldn't. So then she broke up with you.
And everyone's been like having way more fun and doing way more cooler things.
Oh, they're leaking too. This is crazy.
What even are you spinning?
Dude, Emiru used to always be in her room. Now she's like going IRL and having fun and doing a lot of cooler stuff now.
It's a good thing she disconnected from you because
Thank the Lord.
God damn, bro. They're going in. How do they know all this?
Thank the Lord.
You would have brought down the vibe with Emiru, dude.
Yeah.
Facts.
Wait, Emiru's actually having so much more fun now. Like, she's IRL, she was grilling, doing all type of stuff.
You're grilling me right now.
I'm sorry. Bro, dude, that's why I'm chopped.
You weren't even dating, dumbass.
Well, of course, bro. Queen Emiru's not dating someone like you.
By the fucking gods. Hell no. Fuck no. God no. Jesus no. Hell no, bro. Don't even say that word.
Oh God, bro, that was brutal. Oh, it's making me feel bad for him. How brutal it was. That was so brutal. Holy shit.
You had 7,000 viewers when you were playing the crane game.
I had 14,000 this morning IRLing at the nonprofit.
Okay, I didn't need to hear that.
He gets upset when I succeed.
I didn't need to hear that, bro. Really?
No. I used to get upset. I'm not kidding you, chat. I used to legitimately get fucking pissed because I'm like, are you fucking serious? I brought this bitch into the world, and now all of a sudden she's fucking growing faster than I was. Because I was going like this, and she was going like this. And I'm like, what the hell is this crap? What is going on here? It's the fucking Babsity effect. So I was pissed. I'm like, you were such a pussy.
The fact that you can say that and feel like it's okay that you felt that way and just be like, yeah, I was like that is crazy. That's bad.
Is it bad?
Yes.
And guess what? I don't care anymore.
That's bad.
But I don't care anymore. And I stopped caring.
He's okay
Cap.
as long as I never have more viewers than him. If I ever surpassed him in viewership, which will never happen.
Oh, she'd be done. I'd pull the plug.
He could not take it. He could not.
I'd pull the plug.
Which I kind of understand.
Chat, it's like if she beats me in Mario 64. That's literally what it'd be like if she has more viewers. It would feel like she 2-0'd me, and I would just not have that.
God, dude, I wish I knew less because every single fucking sentence just adds like funniness because of old clips. So what did he say here?
Chat, it's like if she beats me in Mario 64. That's literally what it'd be like if she has more viewers. It would feel like she 2-0'd me, and I would just not have that.
Dude, why are your settings like this? These aren't even the default settings.
Okay. Anyways, God, that makes me want to play Mario 64.
Yeah, I think Miz is coming.
I never watched this clip either. Oh, I have seen this. I saw this video. This is probably nothing.
Oh, damn.
Because I watched this YouTube video a while ago and I didn't think anything was. I thought he was cringe and weird, but like I didn't think it was like, I don't know, maybe it'll seem different.
When you say something, Maya, they spam for like
Loser!
there he is. He's
Loser.
Wait, that's third place. That's third place.
Loser.
Third place.
Loser. Second loser.
Matt, if you broke that headset, you are DMing Shroud right now.
We double dropped it.
This is stupid. This is just a bit. Don't care. This is a story from someone else. I forget her name.
But okay, wait. I was gonna tell you real quick about the Mizkif thing. When I met him, the first thing he did was he kicked me with his feet, and he was like, "Go make me some coffee." First time meeting him, by the way. And I just looked at him, and I like glared at him, and I like walked away. And he had the audacity to ask me again to make him coffee.
Make me coffee, bitch.
And then when I didn't, a while later, he was like, "This is why you're never gonna make it as a streamer."
God damn, bro.
And after that, I just like never talked to him again. Like,
I feel like he also does the thing, like, you know how some guys will like flirt with a girl and they'll say some like shit that's like off, like out of pocket or like unhinged, or like they'll say some like over the top flirty shit to see how it like plays. But then if it doesn't play well, they're like, I was kidding, I was fucking around. Of course I wouldn't. Like, I feel like Mizkif uses that energy a lot in a lot of his interactions. That's the vibe I'm getting. But that's just me. Go make me some coffee. This is why you'll never make it. But then if you asked him about this, he would like surely say like he was joking around, right?
we're gonna make it as a streamer. And after that, I just like never talked to him again. Like, no, the guy's insane. The guy's insane.
Interesting.
Hello. Sorry. I am cringe. I'm fine. I'm alive. I didn't die or pass out or whatever.
What is this context?
Hello. I did not fall asleep on the toilet. I did not. Ah, frick, I didn't wash my hands. Oh, I'm a terrible person. Not skip the cutscene or I'm gonna start crying. It's something else, I swear. I've cried on stream once before this. Actually, twice. I've cried on stream twice.
Why are we assuming that this was Mizkif's fault? Am I missing something?
I'm fine. I don't give a fuck. My mental health is fine. And also I'm not crying. I just sniffed some grass on my hands. So my allergies are acting up.
So this Mizkif making Emiru cry on stream, I copy pasted like the title someone else gave it. So let me see if I can find context for this or not. So apparently the explanation I'm seeing, I would like to see an actual clip or something of this. Apparently Miz was like malding because she, this is in quotes, lifted her leg like a cheerleader. What? And then in parentheses it says she used her foot to adjust the frame on the wall and then proceeded to play with a bottle between her legs. She was fidgeting with the water bottle cap. So then he like screamed at her for it, I guess. And then she came back and was crying. Mizkif caught berating Maya in an old clip. Oh, dude, this fucking dono cringe talking over the fucking thing. You can hear them yelling in the background, or you can hear Mizkif yelling. God damn.
Marbles.
I can't make out like half of what he's saying.
Marbles.
I don't know. Clearly he's pissed about something. Miz admits, did I watch this already earlier? Miz admits he couldn't take being smaller than Maya.
I was terrified. I couldn't understand what was happening. My viewers were dropping, Maya's were only going up. And there was a part of me that thought that I was going to be smaller than her, and I don't know if it was my ego or what, but I couldn't take it. I felt like shit. And I was on the phone with Austin.
Bro,
and
that's
then XTC,
crazy.
I somehow got on a call with him, and he talked to me for hours, making me feel better about it.
It's like, bro, you need to chill the fuck out about viewers. The obsession is so unhealthy. Like, holy fuck, dude. God damn. XQC talks about this a lot, and I think he has like a pretty healthy approach to that kind of thing. But he basically says like, you know, viewers come and go. It's not really like your viewer number at any given time doesn't really represent that much. Like you could be riding a wave and like have a fuck ton. It could be like a lull, like a back to school or whatever. A lot of people's viewer numbers go down. I know for like politics and stuff, like the closer you get to a presidential election, the more viewers you get. And then after that, your viewer numbers like plummet for all these political streamers. So it's like really bad to tie your self-worth so much to a number that's like so out of your control like that. That's crazy. And as you can see, like Mizkif is like the personification of that, and like you're seeing all the like extremely destructive outcomes it leads to, you know.
And he did, and I genuinely, after talking to him, felt a lot better. And I don't think he even realizes what he did for me in that call, but he really did help me a lot. I was nonstop. It's all I could think about is that she was beating me as a streamer and I was gonna die. But then he reminded me that women have a cap and men just grow as streamers. And that's
okay, good one, dude. Mizkif gets ignored and freaks out. What is this?
I just sighed really loud. Sorry, those are kind of rude. Yeah, I'll try to breathe quieter.
Who the fuck is breathing?
Sorry, guys. Guys, can you stop? Can you do me a favor and stop breathing?
Crazy sentence.
I'm sorry. I'll breathe
Bonnie,
less
like,
next time.
Keep treating me like this, and like next time you're in the car, I'm gonna probably just talk to you.
Okay. I also saw this is a stupid clip. I'll play it, but
Jesus.
Welcome to boy haircuts, nigga.
Ow!
okay, no, it's kind of cringe.
What is wrong with you?
I never watched this either. I feel like this is gonna be so cringe, but
Yes, it's disgusting.
It's just a video. We're not live.
Okay.
We're literally filming a video of my life.
Okay.
Don't you think it's very boring?
Yes.
Why the hell are you talking like that?
Because.
Emmy!
bro, I know that fucking side eye look, bro. That is not. He's in the doghouse. Look at this. Holy fuck.
Emmy! Can we look at your Discord logs? Because my life is too boring for a video. Shy Russell.
What did he ask her?
My life is too boring for a video. Can we look at your Discord logs? Because my life is too boring for a video. Shy Russell.
Okay, that was dumb. The look she gave him was funny, but it was just like a pissed off girlfriend look. It is what it is. So some of these are really stupid. Some of these are schizo, but some of them are interesting. Out of all of these, this story was bizarre. This story was bizarre. This one, a lot of these, like, without knowing like the full story and both sides of it, it's hard to like contextualize a lot of these and say he's just being straight up awful or anything. Some of these are like cringe, like maybe this is like too far or whatever. This is the craziest clip, dude. This is insane. This one's kind of cringe. This one was fine. Nothing wrong with that one. And then I don't know. This first one here where he throws the bags at Maya is pretty bad.
That's what that was. 2 Starbucks bags of Starbucks I got you over the past few days.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was pretty cringe. I think that's all I have. All I have are these 2 clips. So this is Ludwig talking about if his girlfriend had more viewers than him, which I thought was interesting to, you know, compare.
Sorry.
So he's looking at a post on his own subreddit, which says, "The day has come again," and it's Cutie Cinderella, who's his girlfriend, having more viewers than him at the same time. They're both streaming, whatever.
Okay. Are we new frogs? You guys do know that Cutie had more viewers than me when we met. The day's returned, if anything. She had like 500 viewers when I met her. I had like 200 barely. She had a bunch of fucking followers from the Austin show. Everyone knew her. I had like a nice circle of 180 people watching me play Pogo Stuck and Bloodlocks, and that's about it. Would you be okay if she had more viewers than you? If Cutie had more viewers than me, that'd be my fucking dream, because then I could just leech off her again. I would love for her to be like a 60K Andy. I would leech all that shit. I'd be on there fucking every other day, dropping fat little W's. I'd be begging for hosts. Come on, just give me one, though. Like, just give me one, you know?
So obviously they're both being like streamer personas or whatever whenever they talk about these things a little bit, but I think it probably is more representative of like how they view things than it than it might seem. I think it's an interesting comparison. And then finally, we have newly resurfaced footage of Forsen engaging in very abusive behavior of his girlfriend.
Is there something you would like?
Snaps.
You want snaus?
What kind of throw was that?
Women throw. No, I'm blind on one eye. No, it's not funny. Stop. Okay, I'm just turning around. If you hit me with this, is abuse. It's abuse. No, don't throw. I'm not looking, so it's abuse.
Oh my god. That's such a good clip. So yeah, remember boys, if you don't snooze, you lose. And if you don't zin, you won't win. Okay? Keep that in mind. Conclusion on this topic. This is a long one. Mizkif is very cringe, obsessed with viewership. I don't think he's a sexual predator or anything like that. I think he's an ego Andy and an asshole and has a propensity to throw things at people and drive fat cars quickly to scare people, which is unhinged, of course. He's not the worst person in the world. He's not the worst person on Twitch, but he is a douche. Boom. Emiru may or may not mistreat her rabbits. We don't really have conclusive information on this matter yet either. But even if she was, that doesn't really excuse anything from the stories that she told. So that's it. That's the good take. Take it or leave it. That's all I got to say about this. Boom.